Hello sexy souls and welcome back to my channel. So I just want everyone to, before we skip ahead here and people go into each of their piles, this is a kind of an important intro, so try and stick around before you go down into the timestamps to choose your pile. It is earth, air, fire and water, so you don't need to choose intuitively, you just go with whatever your star sign, your sun sign is. And what element that is, but I'll have that down below if you're not sure. You can also look at your rising and moon sign if you know, and if you would like to dive deeper into that. But before we start all of that, like I said, this is a super full moon in Libra, and it's on the 7th, and for me it'll be the 8th because it'll be in the AM. So it's 7:34 Pacific time, 3:34 AM UK time where I am. So just kind of find out where you are in the world and how that's going to work. And I'm also going to talk in a minute about something that you might find very interesting and what's kind of happening with the collective consciousness right now. And it just came to me because I felt like I was needing to share this information with you guys. So this is a Libra. First of all, it's the closest the moon will be in 2020 during this full moon. It's a super full moon, which means it's really close to the earth. So we're gonna feel heightened emotions, like very emotional. And I know for me, during full moon, I am much more like, my emotions are a lot more unstable, and that's why I enjoy the new moon energy more. But something that you can do for yourself and for everyone else and the whole collective consciousness is what will be happening on the 4th April 2020, and that is 4/4, and this is a year of 4, 2020, 2 plus 2. So a lot of astrologers have been talking about this. I've been reading up about it so that I could kind of give you more insight. And while I was looking this up, well, it just actually, I attracted it because it popped up on my Instagram just randomly. I'll talk about it in a second. I just want to say Libra is all about relationships and finding the balance, but really with this full moon, I feel like it's more to do with finding the balance with yourself and having more respect for your own relationship with who you are as a person, and really understanding what it is that you need to heal during this time, and then that will like ripple effect out and it will come back to you. So you will be able to find balance in your relationships with your family, your friends, and your partner. Because right now, the external, everything on the outside is a little bit chaotic at the minute. And that is why we really, as well, a lot of us, we can't go out of our home. We have to stay at home. And we don't really have any other option right now. And that has a lot to do with, I'm not an astrologer, so I don't really know much about astrology, but a lot of the things that are making sense with what astrologers are saying about how the moon or the planets are right now, with law enforcement and all of that, and it's kind of scary. And another thing that they've talked about is how it's going to heighten with the whole virus. I don't want to say the name, but the whole virus. There's going to be an increase in the numbers of cases and deaths and all of that. So I want to now talk about the 4th of April, which is when there will be a huge portal, and it's a really spiritual time, and it's a time for you to stop laying around and feeling crap and do something that is going to benefit you and benefit everyone, so that we can bring this balance back into our lives again, once and for all. Okay? And during this lockdown, we really need to kind of try and visualize what you would be doing if you were on a spiritual retreat or on a holiday that you really like to relax, and treat this like that holiday. because then you'll really start to be able to relax. So what is it that you like to do when you're on holiday? Do you like to lay down and read a book, or treat yourself to really nice food? So maybe start cooking foods that you really like, start eating a lot healthier. What kind of healthy foods would you eat on holidays? That will kind of get you into a mood of doing more self-love and all of that. So now I'm going to talk about the 4th of the 4th. I don't really know what this means too much. I have been looking into it. So what I'm going to do, there's going to be 2 links down below. One is for the meditation that I will talk about in a second, and the other link is basically explaining all of the information that I'm going to try and explain here now. But basically what is happening is Saturn, Pluto and Jupiter are, I think it's called conjunct. Yes. Correct me if I'm wrong by reading that article that I'll post down below. But this happened 700 years ago, and that was when a lot of huge things changed and kind of gotten us into this way of living, which is very much, we think we're living that free life when really we are slaves to the system, basically. So with everything is really kind of dark right now, and a lot of you are probably thinking, well, what can I do? I don't know what I can do. I'm locked in my home and blah, 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 blah. This is the sign, because we really have to work with the light energy, which is the feminine energy, which is spirituality and meditation and all of that, because the 3D world right now is living in that kind of dark masculine energy, which is all about control and power and manipulation and all of that. So we need to use our light feminine energy. All of us light workers, we are very powerful in our light feminine, because our heart chakras are very open. So it's about, this time is about bringing the world back into balance and getting back our freedom that has been taken away from us for so long. So this meditation that's going to happen, I think it's 3:45, but in that article it'll tell you the time, and it's only for 20 minutes, okay? So have the link below, have a read of the article as well, so you can kind of know what's all happening and what's it all about. And then, yeah, there's a 20-minute meditation, which I'll link as well down below. And I think it's available in all different languages. I haven't actually checked, but the guy that messaged me and gave me the link said that it's available in all different languages. So try and share this with as many people as you can that you think are ready to do this, because they're trying to get 1 million people to meditate, because when the collective consciousness does a meditation like this all at one time, it enhances that energy like no other. It's what we really need, because we need this light to shine, and when we work all together at the same time doing the same meditation, it's going to enhance that. And I will be getting up at 3:45 in the morning, and I might even go outside and look up at the moon, get ready, prepare, and I'm going to do it because I've done it before, and it was the most, I can't even explain how much it changed the whole month for me. And it was the energy was really heightened, and that wasn't even during a full moon or anything. That was just collective consciousness coming together, and you could feel the energy. It was very, very strange, and I will forever be getting involved in things like this from now on. But yeah, like I said, I've done one of these before, and it just, I can't even. Oh, right, so one last thing that I should be talking about, or that I want to talk about, is full moon. We usually like to work on ourselves, and that's what I want you guys to do. But as well, we have to think beyond that, because it's not a time to be selfish or to get angry with other people, because everybody's at a very we're being tipped to the very, very edge of with everything that's going on in the 3D reality right now. So I just want you to really, really get involved in this, and try and share this with as many people as you can, because this is something that I think is going to really, really change your reality and the reality of the whole world. I truly believe that, and this is how we take action. We literally just, all we have to do is go within, and then everything on your external reality, that changes, because you're putting out that energy. That everything is a mirror, as we always say that in the spiritual community. It ripples out and then it comes back to you, and you see that proof. And when you witness that, what you've been doing and how you've been working with yourself, when you work on loving yourself and all of that, it reflects back to you, and once you realize that, it's the most insane thing. It's like, whoa, you start to realize that things aren't coincidences anymore, and everything is synchronicities. So yeah, I think I've rambled on a little bit too long with this. So we're going to start with the piles. Please like, and you can share this video with people as well, if you feel free to. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing these full moon readings anymore, because I kind of want to, I'm going to be moving towards doing something different on my channel. I really love doing these readings, but I have to focus on one thing that I want to help you guys with, and it's more to do with looking into relationships and how people are attracting the same types of relationships and they don't know how to overcome that. So if you feel like that is you, just drop me an email down below. I would love to get in contact with you, or even just messaging me on Instagram. That's another place that I like to contact you guys. But yeah, again, I'm talking too much. So go ahead, and you don't need to choose the files. Go ahead down to the description and click your timestamp. Okay, I got a little bit sidetracked there. Okay, bye. Hello, all of my earth signs. So before we begin, I have a message down here for Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, and that will be at the end of the reading, so a little bit more insight into your own sign. And then up here is just collective energy for everyone. So I want to start with the sun. I have a feeling that we've had it quite good, okay? Us earth signs, I'm a Taurus, we've had it quite good, and it's not been that hard. I don't know, because we like having the opportunity to ground ourselves, and things haven't really gone that horrible just yet. For a lot of us, this is a general reading, but you may have been feeling like you've probably been a lot more positive than a lot of other people in your life, and you haven't really had to fight your opinions or fight against things that are happening around you. You've really just been quite still. Sorry, the focus is gone. I'm going to read this card now. So we have the Queen of Summer. It says, it's a time of deep emotions and heightened intuition that you can trust completely. Be mindful. You don't ignore your own needs while caring for others, okay? So I do feel like a lot of you have been having some downtime, and you've been really getting into your groove again, and you've really adjusted a lot better than a lot of other people. You might not think it, but I feel it. I feel like the earth signs, you've been dealing with it in a better way, but really it's starting to make me feel that something needs to change with a lot of you, and it's getting back into really finding out what you need to do now. You need to bring your rooted energy and bring it back up and create something using your intuition so you can help people in some way or another. We have the Death card here, so the energy that you're kind of moving into is something is going to have to be released, okay? So I really do feel like a lot of you have been ignoring something, and that is going to come back and bite you in the ass. Not in a horrible way, but it's like, oh, okay, I've really been putting off something and now it's time for me to deal with that. And I don't feel like it's a negative thing. It's going to seem for a lot of you that it will be negative, but for me it's kind of like a wake-up call. Like I said, it's just a lot of you have probably been feeling like you have been doing quite okay. So with the overall energy, we have Temperance here. And Libra is all about balance. So I feel like with this new moon energy, Temperance for me is a huge full moon. The Temperance card for me is a huge... it's like, especially with this deck, the Deviant Moon deck, I really feel like this full moon is going to bring about a lot of change in your lives. One of the things I really think that some of you may have to work from home, okay? And some of you may just be you mightn't have a job right now because of what everything is happening, and you might have had a new idea on, okay, I could make something work here. Or if you are working from home, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Something has changed your perspective. So you might start to think, wait a second, I really enjoy being at home and working from home. So why don't I focus towards making this a permanent thing? So that could involve you wanting to leave the current job that you're in and work for yourself. And that is, I feel like a lot of you are going to be feeling that energy. And it's like, for me, it feels like a lot of you are like, where has this all been? Why have I not copped on to this sooner than this? So for you, this time has been really beneficial for you because you've had so much time to just kick back and relax and really take time out for yourself. But now it's like you're being shifted now into this energy of, okay, make a goddamn decision on what you want to do. Because some of you are probably getting a little bit in the phase of, I don't really need to do anything about it. Everything's going to go back to normal. So you're waiting for things to go back to normal, but things cannot go back to normal. Everything is happening for a reason, and you know that, but you're fighting it. You're fighting this, but it's going to be fine eventually. A lot of people are saying that. No, things are not going to be fine. Things need to change, and the change happens with you. When you start to realize that old ways are not working anymore with government and everything else, you need to start making the change and then be an example for other people to follow your footsteps. So really, a lot of your thoughts during this time are going to be, you're going to be clashing with yourself. You're going to be thinking like, really contradicting yourself. Like, I could work from home and this would be great, or blah, 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 blah. But why would I focus on that when like things are going to be fine soon? Like, you're back and forth kind of like, you need to make a decision. What do you really want to see in your future? And a lot of people need to really start visualizing a completely different future for themselves and for the whole planet, because a lot of things need to change. So visualization is a huge thing that I'm not very good at it. I'm better when I'm meditating, but when I try and just do it on the spot, it's really hard for me because my mind just wanders. The Queen of Wands is telling me that you have no idea how gifted you are. People really want to hear your story. People really want to know what you're good at. And you're good at something. You have something that you've figured out and you've taught yourself. And you can teach that to other people. And with the Queen of Wands, that energy is kind of giving me a feeling like you could go global with something. And this is probably because like a lot of us right now are online and trying to look, we're probably looking up people who are working from home or online courses and things like that. You have something that people need to hear, and you've got that full moon there, and it looks absolutely huge in this. So it's really telling me that whatever you're passionate about, that is what's going to give you the brightest future, and that's where you need. This is it. This is the start of the new foundation. With this month, this is the fourth month. This is a year 4. This is where it starts, and we just had the Aries. We had the Aries new moon just previously, and that kind of kick-started a lot of this. I'm going to go after it. But now we're getting back into balance again, and people are like, oh, things are balancing, going to be okay. But no, you need to be determined and to go after that using this energy from the moon. A lot of you are really, really benefiting from this full moon energy, because you are finally reconnecting with your family and your friends and anyone that has been kind of distant in your life, either physically or just like you just haven't had a connection with them on a spiritual level. You're starting to realize how you can make it work. So you're realizing that yes, some people in your family think differently to you, but you understand. It's all about understanding a lot of what hasn't worked before, and now you're wanting to keep hold of that energy, and you're going to do anything you can to make sure that that doesn't ever happen again. What I mean by what it won't happen again is losing connections or losing falling into that whole routine again of not being with your family enough, being on social media too much and not really having a proper conversation. This time is going to really open your eyes to the way that life should be, and we shouldn't have to go back to the old ways, because the old ways is what takes away happy families from. Yeah. Anyway, so now I'm going to move down here to Taurus. So for anyone that is a Taurus, this for me is good, because a lot of you that are very spiritual are realizing right now during this time. It says an important end, a new beginning. So that's great. All of you Tauruses, you are the most stubborn of all of the zodiac, and you're very good at being still and in your element, like being like a rock, like not wanting to move, and you don't really like change. But a lot of you are going to realize that the only way you can shift and move with this energy, which is it's 4 and 5, 45, and I always look at this card like moving into the 5th dimensional like way of thinking, consciousness. But you have the devil here. So for a lot of you who are a Taurus, you're going to have to really think about the things that are not making you happy. So are some of you smoking, drinking, doing drugs? It's those luxuries that you are clinging on to. So there's some form of addiction here. The biggest thing for you Tauruses is addiction. So what are the things that are not working for you anymore? And this could be just social situations as well. Are you hanging around with the wrong people? It's all about figuring out what is toxic in your life, and it's going to come whether you like it or not, because it's going to try and bring you back into balance, okay? So you're probably already kind of having that feeling like, oh, I feel like I'm really needing to change something, or if I don't, it's just going to come back and do something to make me wake the F up, okay? For all of you Virgos, huge change. A lot of you, it says glamour intrigue. Oh my god, my brain could not spell the word. And drama. With this card, I'm literally seeing I'm done. I'm literally done. I don't need it. I don't need this drama in my life anymore. A lot of you are, during this time, are probably the most content you've been in a long time, with all of the things that are happening that are really dark, and all of the positive vibes that are going around, like, oh, it's going to be fine, guys, da 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 da. You really find like your center. You're like, I know exactly what I need to do, and I'm not listening to other people's opinions. I'm not reading up on things that are, it's just drama and it's just controversy and like things that you just don't agree with, and you're not having it anymore. You're like, I'm finished with the drama. I'm going to look after myself. I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to make myself love who I am come on a whole new level. And it's like you're finally taking off that mask. You're revealing who you really want to be, and you're sticking up for yourself more than you've ever done in your life. I really feel like this is a huge change for you, and it's really opened your eyes to where you want to go in your life, which is really good. And you Virgos, you're no bullshit anyway, but you're like literally, no, not doing it anymore. I'm not having it. I'm not having this in my life. So Capricorn, I really feel like you've got a clear solution for your message. And I think it's kind of been with what happened kind of like with the past energies, right, with Capricorn. You've probably are going to be affected by this the most, the death card, because you're going to have to transform in different ways on a whole like different level with spirituality and all of that, because I feel like you haven't been doing enough inner work, and you know that, and you are trying to ignore that. You will only be happy, and you know that you'll only be happy once you figure out all why certain things are in your life. But you really don't want to focus on those things because you just want to work. You just want to get things done. You want to prioritize things. And you have the 4, and I always put all of my cards upright when I'm doing it, and this came out when I'm shuffling. This came out reversed, so that's a huge sign that you are imbalanced right now, and it's because of I feel like it's mainly for you guys resonating with this. You're fighting with yourself. You keep going back and forth with what should I do? What should I do? Can you see? It won't even focus because it's so unbalanced, this card. So I really feel like you know what has to change and what you're needing to head, what your new path is. And it's something, I feel like a lot of you know it's not going to be that comfortable diving into this. But so I really do feel that it's so going to pan out in ways that you won't even expect, and it's changing your life for forever. I strongly I feel you, Capricorn. It's hard right now, really hard for you, because you are really struggling. A lot of you are struggling with something, and you know that you have to detach from that and move in a new direction, and it's something that's toxic as well. Okay, and yeah, that's all I have for you, Earth signs. Please leave a comment down below how this resonated for you, and I will see you all in the future. Goodbye. Hello and welcome all of my air signs, Gemini, Libra and Aquarius. Before we begin, this is the collective energy and what's going to kind of be happening between this month or this full moon and the new moon. So it is in Libra. and I will be talking to you Libras in a minute. This is for Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So these will be messages for each specific sign at the end. So let's just start off with what you've kind of been going through before, or you might be going through, maybe watching this, or you might be watching this on the time of the new moon. But we have the Tower, and the way I'm looking at this is you guys are really struggling because you are the people who like to, you know, communicate. A lot of you, anyway, who are more extroverted, love to get out and communicate and, you know, be around people or getting new ideas from different sources. And it feels like what's kind of happened is you really struggled for a while, and you thought, with everything that's going on, your whole life just felt like, what am I going to do? This is just a disaster. Everything is falling apart, and it felt like the end, kind of, okay? And a lot of you may have even fallen into a state of like really starting to feel like you're getting depressed about certain things, and this has triggered something. If it hasn't already, it will. It'll trigger something within you, and you will start to imagine what life is going to be like in the future. And I'm really happy because you air signs are the dreamers in a way, where you like to focus on the future. A lot of the time you like to think about or fantasize about the future. And we have the dreamer here, and it says, you are starting a new adventure, run free and take a leap of faith. And that, the dog, it's like a new kind of innocence or something. It's really, you're really happy about something. So you're going to get a new idea. And I have a feeling that you might have been talking to some friends or something, and you started to plan where you're going to go when all of this kind of blows over. And because I have the quest here, for some of you, it's planning to on a trip that maybe you missed out on, and you're like, it just wasn't our time. So you're now focusing on something even better that you are able to save for, and it's a new journey for you. And all of this has been a real learning, a huge time where you've learned a lot about yourself, and whether you couldn't even shy away from it. It just had to come out. A lot of the things had to come out, and the way that they came out for a lot of you feels a little bit like, oh, you lost respect for certain people, and that's fine. So I said there's a journey here. It can mean like literally a lot of you aren't able to leave your houses and all of that with what's going on, but I feel like a lot of you will be going through an emotional journey, which will take you into this energy where you have to jump, you have to take the leap, and you have to open up and be more in touch with your, I'm getting my heart chakra is like really like this. So there's a lot of tension, and your emotions are being like this. You're really clenching about speaking your truth and saying what you really feel. Okay? So with the Hermit energy, I feel with this Hermit in this deck for me is, it's almost like it's reversed in some ways, but you're getting uncomfortable, okay? You're uncomfortable with what you will start to realize. You're realizing a lot of things that are true, and they've been true for quite some time, but you've been ignoring them. And it's for me, it's starting to really show up in your life, and you're being tested day in, day out. It's like, you know this is true. Are you going to ignore it? Because the more you ignore it, the more difficult it's going to be. And this is a lot to do with your job, your finances, and standing up for what you believe in. A lot of you have had enough, and a lot of you realize that you were made into a certain person, and I think you're starting now to shift. A lot of you are starting to shift, and that's why we have the quest there. It's like you were stuck on this island, on this tower for a little bit there, and realized that, wait, I can build a boat and I can get off this island and I can go be somewhere else. Okay, so with the Two of Pentacles, I feel like a lot of you have, some of you have maybe you had a 9-to-5 job, okay, and you were balancing like a 9-to-5 job and having some other form of income, okay, and I'm getting the feeling now all of a sudden the income that you weren't really focusing on has now switched, because I'm looking at her doing this, and it's like she's looking at where the lower income is now, and she's not really focusing on what's actually making her money. And you have to think of it like that. So maybe you were making more money in your 9-to-5 job, but now I'm feeling the switch, and it's starting to, I don't know, you're really, again, you're knowing that what you need to do, but you're still focusing on something that you don't really, you shouldn't really be focusing on anymore, and you're trying to have that again, when you know for a fact that that's not what even makes you happy anymore. This could be to do with finances, but it's also to do with your stability at the minute, and how you're feeling a lot safer than you did before. And it's all because of some sort of work you've done on yourself, or some realization. Because a lot of you have gotten a lot of clarity, probably the most out of all of the signs, because you have the King of Swords. And with this King of Swords, it's telling me that you are really being careful about who you share your experiences with, who you communicate with, and you don't even want to waste time. A lot of you are like, I don't want to waste time on people who do not respect me and do not know how much wisdom I have, and how much, like, I feel like I'm getting a feeling some of you may have studied something, and it was like you went to college or university for a lot of years, and you're very intelligent, but you haven't maybe been using your intelligence in the way that you know will work best for you. And it's telling, I'm hearing that the new way that you're thinking is a lot more to do with going out there and getting experience, but getting experience in a different way. And it's not like working at the office doing the behind the scenes work. You want to actually go out, communicate, and be the teacher. You want to be the teacher because you have the King of Wands. You want to teach people what you know. And this is coming up a lot for a lot of people, which is really, I think, why this is here. It's something like that. This Pentacles maybe the one you're more focused on, but this one is where you're going to be at this point, where you're getting the experience, and it's taking your mind off of, having to pay the bills and all of that. It's more, wait, I'm helping people, so I'm happy. That's what I get from that. So there is a lot of passion in education and stuff, and I feel that. A lot of you think, okay, I need to be educated as much as I can before I can go and do it. No. You need to go and you need to start doing it. And I know you can't leave your house or whatever, and you can't really work, but what I mean by that is looking up, planning for the future. Like, whatever it is that you want to do, is there some sort of a retreat that you want to go on, or even if you want to do an online course or something that will teach you more about what it is that you want to go into. But I really think that a lot of you don't realize how much of a magnet you are and how much people really, really respect you when you are speaking your truth. Because you are the communicators. You are the guys that know exactly what needs to be said. And you have two really good energies here. That's like getting shit done, okay? There's no daydreaming here. There's no cups, okay? You're not fantasizing about anything. You're actually thinking clearly now. And you're like, well, hold on a minute. I'm gonna frickin' go there. With this energy as well, I have the Three of Cups, but I always kind of feel like it's being careful about which people you're hanging around, because this fish could just swallow you all up. Like, you're all kind of a little bit distracted here, and it's just with this, I always feel like some people in your friend circle are a bit of a joy hoover, like they suck the joy out of everything. And this also, I'm picking up that a lot of you are going to want to communicate in a different way. So, like, calling each other on Skype and all of that. But really, with you guys during this time, it's more about friendships and really starting to truly listen to your friends. And it's a good energy, and it's some way or another, I feel like you're going to get a lot of inspiration from some of your friends or some people that are in the same area of expertise that you want to go towards, okay? So Gemini. For Gemini, it's your sensuality is beautiful, okay? And with that, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So for all you Geminis, I'm getting a feeling, I don't know why I'm feeling this, but something to do with hair. Something to do with your hair. I feel like some of you are wanting to change your hair, and you might even be doing that at home or something. But the main thing that I have for you, Gemini, is you're slowly but surely really changing your health, and you're truly starting to understand what your body really wants. It's a lot of health, but for me, it's as well, you're starting to be more comfortable. And if some of you are trying to lose weight or anything like that, you're starting to be more comfortable and you're starting to love yourself and the way your body is. And once you get into that kind of a way of thinking, the weight just, once you stop focusing on the things that you don't like, everything then, I don't know, it starts to balance out, that Libra energy anyway. It's like once you get back into your balance, you can then tip the scale to being, having the more positive experiences. And I feel like you're going to notice that you really, really love looking after yourself. And you think, it's like a lot of the time you were probably caught up in this, like Gemini, they always say two different people or whatever, but you're starting to now really think, okay, this is what I want to do to look this way. And that has a lot of to do with being stuck at home and having to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, oh, okay, I can't wake up every morning and pick out the flaws and all of that. So that's what I'm picking up from the Knight of Pentacles, which I never really also, it could have something to do with going into like some sort of blogging, like starting a YouTube channel, maybe a makeup YouTube channel or something like that. There's something there for you, okay? And I feel like that has a lot to do with this energy as well. Libra. I forgot what elements we were doing. Libra. So for Libra, it says stifled, bored, and stuck. So I feel like for Libra, a lot of this energy is where that's coming from. And a lot of this, okay? So for Libra, I feel like you more so have been the one suffering with not feeling like you were having a good connection with family and friends and your own self. It just, everything felt like you really couldn't cope with anyone. And you're just over it. You're over everything. You're like, I'm just done. Certain things that you're hearing or seeing on the news, it's really getting you down. Certain people are making you just roll your eyes, and you've literally had enough, and you're at this point now where you're saying, okay, I don't want to be bored, so I'm going to sit down and make a proper plan of action. Anybody that interrupts me or tries to get in the way of what I want to do for myself, I will tell them, back off. I really feel like, Libra, you're going to really change a lot of things. You're going to change the way that people act around you, and you're going to notice that. It's not like you're being harsh, like this Queen of Swords. Like, you don't need to be that bitch. But you're starting to be a bit more of a biatch to your own self, and you're really sticking to it now. You're like, okay, I said I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it, and that's it, because I'm not happy. Everything has just not been working out in the past, and now I've had enough. So this is like, you really, really are saying to yourself, no more. I'm bored of this, and I just want it over. Go, bye, see you later. Okay? And that is really good energy. And it's like you're not there. You haven't really moved into a new beginning just yet, because you're finishing off the last few things before you go on this new journey. Okay, so there's a little bit more work here to do with this, and kind of like finding exactly how you're going to make it work. So it's like you're in the planning stages right now, okay? And you're proper sitting down with yourself and being firm with where you need to go. And then Aquarius, we have count your blessings. And this is all like, a lot of people are be talking about the age of Aquarius and all of that. And you have the Hermit. You have like the number one, a new beginning, the Hermit. And it's like, I feel like you're starting to see the earth in a whole different way. You're really noticing people are waking up. You're really noticing, especially if you are very spiritual, and I feel like a lot of you will be if you're on my channel, you're starting to notice people are coming towards you and asking for help. And in you giving that help to people from your own inner light, that I feel like a lot of you are very much shining, and people are noticing you. And this could be like obviously through social media and stuff like that, but people are starting to wake up, and you are also starting to feel very lucky because certain things are working in your favor. Okay, yeah, and I think that has a lot to do with the Three of Cups as well. Okay, so that is all I have for you, all of you air signs. Please leave a comment down below if this resonated, and yeah, I will see you all in the future. Goodbye. Hello, all of my fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Up here, we have the collective energy. And then down here, we have just messages. Whoa, why'd it get super dark there? Down here, we have a message for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, and that's at the very end. So let's just start with kind of what happened. Right, so up here, past energy that's kind of now over and done with. We have disguise. I feel like a lot of you have really had to switch and had to be different people in different situations, and always having to wear a different disguise for different people and different situations. And now you've moved more into a state of knowing exactly what you want to be from here on and out. You are kind of done with having to pretend to be a certain way or to go through a certain situation. You're just not, you don't want to have to put on a mask to be the person that you know you really aren't, okay? And a lot of it, I feel like, because we have ego here, and it says, you may feel you're trapped in your situation, but that's not true. Be careful to not overly focus upon material wealth and break free of negative thinking. So I think that has a lot to do with certain situations that you had to be in with certain people, and just with finances, just like it said here as well. Having a new perspective is what's coming for you with the star card here, okay? And this star card, it kind of feels, with this, I always think like the world is your oyster now, and you have a whole different understanding of your emotions. So that's kind of the energy you're going to be feeling a lot during the full moon, because again, like I said, with the emotions being super heightened, you're going to, it's almost like you're going to have this flow of energy that kind of makes you really, I feel like you guys are the people who are going to cry during this time. And especially all of you Sagittarius. I feel like a lot of you Sagittarius will have a huge like wake up call in a happy way. And then for a lot of you Aries, it's going to be more so like shit. Basically, you're gonna be really upset about something. For a lot of you Aries, take whatever resonates, but I see a lot of you just getting really, really angry and then feeling kind of guilty. Okay, because a lot of you, I'll talk about that later, but that's just what I'm picking up there, sorry. So yeah, with the star, I am seeing you taking a different course of action. Like it's really, really different to how you would normally operate, and things have been changing a lot for you in how you deal with things. It's different now. It's like, again, with this disguise, it's like you really don't deal with situations the same as you would normally. And sometimes you're thinking, I would act this certain way because I didn't want my ego to, show up. A lot of you were afraid of having your ego show up and getting into like arguments or having to defend yourself in certain ways, or having a way that you would normally talk to yourself. And you were either afraid of your ego, or you have now really understood how you can, balance spirituality and being able to look at your ego in a different way. You really are more observant. So when you are getting frustrated or angry, you can stop yourself. A lot of you are able to stop yourself and think, wait a second, that's my ego. So I can just, switch my attention to something else. Okay. So we have the devil here. And I have a feeling like a lot of this has to do with the energy that is happening right now in the world. And it's anyone that has been not really dealing with certain issues, like if you've been wanting to leave a toxic relationship or a toxic situation, now is the time to do it, because without a doubt it's going to have to happen at some point, because with this devil, I really feel like it's about time you stopped walking away from it. Again, it could be a lot of you to do with this ego. So it's something that you've really, really ignored for such a long time, and it's going to kind of creep in some way. But for the rest of you, why the devil is here, it's you're seeing things that are panning. Sorry, I don't know why I touched the wall. I was like, I have little notes of things I have to do. Sorry, I thought I was going to fall off, but that was my eyes playing trick or something. With the devil here, I feel like a lot of you know where you went wrong, and a lot of you are correcting certain things that you used to do in the past, okay? And because I have the Six of Swords here, and there's a fire over here, and the way I look at it is like, I'm looking at these two cards, is the fire is over here. So some of you have already left this toxic environment where all of this shit was going down, okay? Where all of these type of energies were laying, and you've moved here where it's very clear and everything is a lot more your thoughts are a lot easier to actually grasp. It's like you're not having all these different thoughts all of the time, and you're being able to be more grounded, okay? With a lot of you, I feel like you are starting to learn something new, and that could be to do with something that a lot of you might have been obsessed with for some time. You are finally being able, because you can think a lot more clearly, and you've left a lot of the more negative thoughts behind you, and you're not really thinking the same way anymore, okay? So with a lot of you, we have this Page of Pentacles. I feel like you finally have all of the tools that you need, okay? They're all scattered around here, all the bolts and whatever. You know what it is that the final outcome of what you want to happen, okay? You know what it is. You just aren't really at the point where you've gathered enough resources, information from people. Maybe you need some kind of like training in some area, or maybe there's something that you just don't have the finances for right now. And I just want to say to you that I have a really, really, really good feeling about it. You're completely started fresh, and you're not rushing anything anymore. It feels, again, I'm looking at that mask, and then I'm looking over here, and it's like you're more comfortable with your own thoughts than you ever have been before. And that is because something has changed. Your environment has changed, and with that, you can really start to focus on the things that you've been wanting to do for such a long time. And with this moon blowing down and that energy coming here, during this time, I really feel like you're going to have that holy crap. So you're going to probably have a lot of this energy like, oh, how am I going to do these things? And then it's going to move into this. And I really feel like working with that full moon energy, maybe doing that meditation that I was talking about, that is what is going, I strongly feel like for the fire signs especially, the meditation would really, really help. Or even doing something just very small and letting this full moon's energy do the work, because there's something that has been growing here for quite some time. Like it's not a seed. It's up. It hasn't bloomed yet, and it's your creative idea because it's coming from within. So whatever it is, it's your own passion is starting to grow. But this full moon. I keep saying new moon. Sorry if I'm getting that mixed up. This full moon is the magic that you've needed, basically. And take it from, like, I really, really strongly feel that it's going to completely change the game for you in a whole different way. It's like it couldn't be further away from this guy. It's coming from a different energy space. And the Knight of Cups, I really feel like you have a whole new outlook on your own emotional well-being and your own how you used to protect yourself is changed as well. And that has to do with like I'm looking at all of the signs here. Okay, sorry. It feels like for those of you that were always keeping a wall up, the wall is now keeping the gates closed, whatever you want to call it. You're more open now. And for anyone that was too open, you are realizing that you need to, tone that back a bit, or pull it in a bit. So whatever resonates with you, I know it, I just didn't want to say oh, you're letting your walls down, because a lot of you, it feels like you're not really doing that, because you've moved to a different way of thinking. So it's either which of those, I'm not sure, because with Aries and Sagittarius, it's two opposing energies, because I have the sun and the moon. So that's why I'm kind of like, oh, I'm not sure. So now for the other messages. I have for Aries, holding on way too tight. So for Aries, I really think that a lot of you have had some form of like a oh my god moment recently, and you've been really keeping it on the DL, and you've maybe even found out some form of information that's kind of a little bit gossipy, and that's a little bit of it's information that you're kind of happy to hear, but when you get to the core of it, it's not in your, it's not something that you should be focusing on, basically, is what I'm feeling. Like, it mightn't seem toxic, but it actually is. Whatever it is going to end up being toxic, okay? So getting away from that energy is what I'm feeling for a lot of you, okay? But you have the Sun card. So for me, I really do feel like the Aries, you guys are still going to have this passion to do something. Why is it so dark? Okay, maybe I just need to turn up the brightness. For you Aries, it's like whatever you were passionate about, it's going to keep continuing, okay? And you're going to feel a lot happier with the new ideas that are coming to you with the star card. So things are still going to be flowing very natural towards you, okay? And keep working towards that. It's just everything, you're getting new opportunities and you're finding out new information, but it's being able to filter out the things that are trying to get in the way of whatever it is, and they may be disguising themselves as well. Again, it's like, don't let that past energy come back in, or those situations that you've already kind of gotten away from, and they can always, come back into your life. So enjoying the how you are within yourself and how you're feeling. Like, a lot of you are very proud of the decisions that you've made, okay, and how you've really started to work towards what makes you truly happy. But something is trying, I don't know what it is, there's something trying to get in there and just get that little last jab of whatever that is. I'm not sure, okay? So with Leo, we have invasion, boundaries violated, and dominance, okay? And we have the Chariot reversed. So like, for Leos, I feel like you have a lot of restrictions with certain areas in your life. Because the Chariot is reversed, A lot of you are probably not able to leave, go anywhere because it's all about travel. So restrictions, that makes a lot of sense with everything that's going on. But this for me is, I feel like you're going to have certain thoughts, okay, that have to do with this again, and that have to do with this. So wherever it is, I'm feeling like there's something that is dominating your energy, okay? And it's a part of you, with the skeleton, I'm looking at it, it's like a part of you that you know you still have, you have it right there somewhere beside you, and you're aware of it, okay? And it's almost like it's invading your space, and it's kind of like making you feel a little bit like uncomfortable at times. And what I really feel with this, like, you're like the in-between, because I'm looking at it like, we have the sun, we have the moon, and then this here is the earth, but it's reversed. So a lot of you Leos are kind of the middleman, okay? You know what you need to do, or you know how to play by the rules, okay, and do what you need to do in the physical reality. But then again, I feel like for a lot of you, you want to be able to be more free and not have these restrictions or have these thoughts that are still kind of lingering there in the background, okay? So, because I do feel like that for like some of you, you've completely left it behind, and then some of you have different, like, there's still you know where certain things need, like, it needs to be like, okay, I need to get that away. You're aware of it, you know about it, okay? I really think that a lot of you, once this energy shift, and I feel like, again, with that moon, I was talking about the moon, working with the moon, that is when it's going to really change. And that's going to flip that back right up again, okay? For a lot of you. I'm really connecting with that, okay? And this is the number 7, and I'm thinking on the 7th chakra, and I'm looking at that, and it's like, that almost looks like, you know, those flowers, the chakra, but it's like almost white light. So it's kind of like you're going to have some sort of an awakening, as long as you know that right now your boundaries are, you're being tested, you're having a little bit of invasion of privacy. This could be in the social media world, or it could even be in your own environment. Maybe some certain laws and where you're living are something that you're not comfortable with, but you know you have to live with it, and it's just like, okay, it's not going to be forever, it's not going to be forever, I'm not going to be in this reversed mode for much longer, and I have to focus on that, okay? And for Sagittarius, again, Sagittarius, I feel like you also, it's, for Aries, it seems more like you've been living too much. All of you are having a huge awakening. Definitely, I feel like the fire signs are having a bigger awakening, or a huge shift in how their life will go from now on. So with Sagittarius, you are really starting to feel like, okay, I really don't know what's going to make me happy right now. Because a lot of you are doing a lot of the inner work, and you're getting kind of beat up about it, okay? And a lot of things that you weren't really, maybe some of you weren't ready to have those things come into your like, sorry, someone banging doors, my mom probably. So a lot of you are going to have this realization of certain areas in your life that really, really didn't work out for you, okay? And you're beating yourself up about some things, and I am getting with it says it's time for a treat. It's like for Sagittarius, I'm getting a feeling like a lot of you have really, really been doing this. Sagittarius, you're a very spiritual sign. A lot of you have you really had to. Sorry, I got cut off there. Someone's ringing me. But anyway, like I was saying with Sagittarius, I really feel like now is going to have this effect. Like something, you're going to be rewarded for your real hard work. Because a lot of you have done an amazing job and have dealt with things in a very mature way, and you're really starting to understand what you need to heal, and you're understanding that you can't always be so nice as well to certain people, and you're for some of you, you maybe had to sweeten, like you had to kind of like make things a lot more smooth in the way that you spoke to people, and you're really done. You don't have enough patience anymore, and you want to treat yourself in some way or another. And a lot of you, I feel like more so for the Sagittarius, the devil he really is walking away from you guys, so that's good, okay? But yeah, that is all I have for you fire signs. Leave a like, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell, and also just drop me down a comment down below and I will read them. And yeah, that's what I have for you. I will see you all in the future. Goodbye. Hello all of my water signs, Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces. So down here we have messages that we will have at the end for each of the signs, and up here we have the collective energy. So let's start with that. We're like this, I will talk about this in a little minute, and it has a whole, all of the signs have some, I get where they're all linked, but they're all kind of linked differently. But we have the victim here, which is like a moth. Isn't that a moth? Which they freak me out. Like spiders for me are love spiders, and moths freak me out. Anything with wings. But anyway, the victim. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. And we have the Knight of Wands. But weirdly enough, what I'm noticing with this is the spider here is attacking the moth, and it's got it trapped. But in this situation, this little fairy moth person, who's kind of like transformed in some way, where then they can latch on to this insect. Okay, so it's like some of you are switching, so it's different for both of you, or no, it's different for all of the signs, but all of it's kind of the same energy. Okay, and we're going to get into that, and it's to do with finally a lot of you are going through a really hard time with relationships and with certain things that have happened to you, but no matter what happens, it's all for the better. Okay, some of you are like already feeling that, definitely with the Pisces. You're really owning who you are during this time. And then with Cancer and Scorpio, you're not so bad. It's just it's kind of a little bit of a while since you've had to really think about it, but now maybe it's coming back up again, whatever this is. It's a relationship anyway, a lot of you. And then Cancer, it's kind of fresh for you. So it's weirdly enough, it's like start, middle and end, and you can even look at the end of what kind of is going on with Pisces Cancer if you would like to do that. So let's just start. We have the Justice. Someone who has been in your life maybe for quite some time has really shown their true colors to you. This probably past, and this is probably to do with that relationship, or you are finding out a certain way to deal with the kind of, some of you may be in an abusive kind of relationship, or some of you may be getting like even blackmailed by someone, and then anyone else that's not in that kind of energy, I really feel like it has to do with the law and being affected by how everything is kind of working out with everything in the media and stuff like that. You're finally like starting to think, okay, a little bit more positive, and you can't for anyone that isn't really having relationship problems and you're more focused on the like everything that's going on with that C word that I'm not going to say, you're starting to have a better relationship with yourself and say, okay, I've had enough of that. I can't just sit around here and wait for things to get worse, which I don't believe a lot of you who are in that area are feeling. You're starting to think, okay, I can let this consume me, which is the media. I can let this mass narcissistic energy from what is happening, I can let it consume me, or I can try and get my power back from, we have the new moon. So see the way that kind of resonates with, we've been trapped in their web for so long, but now with this new moon, which a lot of you who are resonating with that, you really should, especially because water signs, it's going to be a really emotional time during this full moon. So really not overloading yourself with certain thoughts. And I do suggest the main thing that you should try and do is try and do this meditation, and going down and below and clicking the links that I have there for you all, because this meditation is really going to help you guys out a lot. And we have King of Cups, and then there's a full moon behind him as well, so it's really going to help you have a better relationship with yourself and with everyone else, because the king is the people that the king is the guy everyone looks up to. So you're going to start to really appreciate yourself and your own love for yourself, and that is going to radiate, that's going to have people from all areas coming towards you and really noticing a certain thing, okay? We have the Lovers and the Prince of Summer, so I'm just going to read that. True and long-lasting love finds its way into your life. Follow your heart with caring actions and choices. Okay, hold on. A deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move very quickly during such a whirlwind of encounters, so stay balanced and make decisions with both your heart and your intellect. Okay, I feel like this is after the new moon. So during the new moon, it's a lot of ending and finally being able to release. So anyone that has had any toxic relationships in the past that are still, you're still holding on to certain parts of that experience and memories that you don't know how to get rid of. A lot of you could even just email me and ask what I've done, because I've done a lot of cutting the cords and getting out of that trap, okay? And yeah, a lot of you are going to be able, I feel like because the moon's energy is so strong, anyone that is going through or has just went through a really toxic relationship, feel free to email me, okay? And I am glad, I would be really happy to help you guys, because this is where I'm kind of wanting to move my channel, is helping people in relationships that are quite toxic. So anyone that is going through that, just email me and let me know what you're going through. I'll try and get back. I get a lot of emails now with this, so I will try and get back to you if I can, because I'm also trying to look after myself as well, and do as much as I can right now with my family and everything else and what's going on. But please do email me and I'll get back to you whenever I can. But now let's just go on with this. So the High Priestess is saying, she is like, no more. I am not playing your little chess game. I'm looking at the ground here. It's like, you know, it's not a game anymore for you. You're really just, you see through everything. You know what's going to happen with a certain person before they even do it. So you know the outcome of what they're trying to do before they can even get there. You can sense it, and you know that you know their games, and you find it really hard to, you know, go with your heart and go with your head. You're like, you're just really having to like proper like protect yourself during this time, okay? A lot of you may have some form of an offer here, okay? And I feel like this has to do with some of you Scorpios. You're going to get some sort of an offer that you know has, it's like they're coming from a good place, but really you're like, everything sounds okay, and it sounds like, oh my god, you're helping me with this or whatever. There's some, if it's a masculine energy, someone who has a lot of power in a certain area, okay? And you would really, really benefit from their advice, and you're trying to think, should I just go back and have them help me out one more time? It could be a boss, it could be someone who you were in a relationship with, or you have a very, like, you can't really escape from that person because of some sort of situation. But you know that if you go back and you take that again, they're going to have you again in some way. They're gonna have you in this space again. And a lot of you need to really watch, because you are being targeted by one specific person who is wanting to play tricks on you, because they can, okay? And for anyone else that isn't really vibing with that and you're not really sure, again, it has to do with knowing that certain things that are being offered from, like, financial support from the government and all of that, and you're seeing through, you're like, oh, a lot of you are like, okay, they're saying they're going to help us with this and give us support for that and blah blah blah, but what's the real problem here? You know what the root issue is. A lot of you could be like journalists, or someone who's going after the media, going after, like, really wanting to just get it all out there. And I feel like that has a lot to do with you Pisces and you Cancer energies, okay? Here we have the Ten of Swords. So really, again, this has a lot to do with the High Priestess here. So I feel that you've been trapped, okay, with certain thoughts for so long, and these certain thoughts have come from somewhere else. So what has it come from? society? Has it come from a specific person who's been very toxic? Have they trapped you in your own head for so long, and you felt like you didn't know how you would ever escape from this? But I am telling you now, you're moving into this energy. A lot of you are starting to figure out, okay, how can I control the situation in the best way possible? How can I work with what I had to put up with before? You know how they work now, and you know how you can control them. And using that intention during the full moon is really going to help you, okay? And it has a lot to do with the bigger picture for most of you. Most of you are very spiritual. It's not really going to be the relationships and all of that. It's going to be the bigger picture. You are really seeing everything for what it is now. You're the cups. You are the water. You're the most intuitive signs, because you let your emotions flow freely, and you just sense things a lot easier than a lot more people. So what I'm feeling for you is you're finally being able to expose certain people, certain I don't know. I really feel like a lot of you have a voice that you haven't really been comfortable with before, but now you know that, right? It might even be that you have to go out and be an activist or anything, because this isn't that, we're not in times where it's all of the protests and the activism and all of that kind of stuff is kind of over and done with, because we are locked in our homes and stuff. So now it's more so being able to control from a different source, and that source for me is the moon. So doing the work here with your intuition is really what's going to help you, because you don't want anyone messing with your intuition anymore. You don't want anyone giving you psychic attacks or anything like that. You are really proper protecting yourself, and anyone that does practice energy manipulation, let's call it, because a lot of people energy manipulation, so working with energies, you are proper protecting yourself during this time. With the King of Cups, like I said, this is your month to realize that everything happened for the best outcome, and you know exactly now that you will, if you haven't already, you will really know that you can never ever go back to a certain way of feeling, because your emotions right now are just at getting to a point during this time, and I feel like it has a lot to do with after the full moon, or even during the full moon, you will really, really have a deep understanding of what was working for you and what wasn't working for you. So you are going to be kind of tested with these two energies, okay? Are you going to escape, or are you going to let yourself be the victim, okay? That is the main question I have for all of you, really. Okay, so now we're going to move on. For Cancer, I have healing from heartache, okay? And with that, I have the King of Swords. So Cancer, I have a feeling that a lot of this energy has to do with you. So someone who was always getting away with everything because either they were playing the victim or they were kind of gaslighting you in some way or another, okay? And that's your biggest test during this time is, are you going to go back and let yourself be controlled again? Or are you going to take control and know how to direct them away from you on a spiritual level? So what I mean by that is like doing, cutting the cord, cutting contact completely from them, and letting yourself heal properly. Not, you know, it's like when you are trying to stop an addiction, you have to completely just go cold turkey with it, okay? You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, have like people who like to maybe drink alcohol. Oh, I'm gonna have one a week, and then it turns to 2 and 3 and whatever. You have to completely just cut yourself off and say, no, I've had enough. Piss off. You're not messing with my emotions anymore, because I know what my worth is, and that is it. I will not put up with your BS anymore, okay? Because, again, you guys, this is your moment to move to what you deserve, and if you don't do it, if you get trapped, you'll just get stuck in the same cycle again, and you'll just have to, you know, go through it all again. And we can't have that. This is a huge time for people to really, really know exactly where they want to go with, if it's relationships, if it's just with, even if you don't really want a relationship and you are needing to learn how to not always look at life in this, like everyone is out to trap you. It works different ways, and it's very hard to cover everything, but it's basically it's just, what are you going to do? Are you going to get trapped again, or are you going to control the situation from a spiritual level? So now I'm going to move on. Cancer, Scorpio. So Scorpio, you are going to be missing someone. It says you miss someone, but I have a Page of Pentacles. I feel like Scorpios, I was getting this message when I was trying to do this, that some of you have a younger sibling that maybe isn't with you right now. Oh gosh, for some of you, I'm feeling I feel a spirit. So it could be that some of you, could be that some of you have a younger sibling. If it's a younger brother that maybe has passed away, maybe getting in contact with me. That message is for someone. I'm going to move on now. But also, I feel like you're missing someone that you used to know, maybe when you were in. It doesn't really feel too much like it's a relationship. A lot of you, it feels like it's a family member that may be living on a different, might be living in a different state, a different country, whatever resonates with you. Because you know that person always makes you laugh. So there's someone that you really, really miss that is either younger than you, or they have a very like silly, funny way of acting, and you really just, during this time, you wish that you had them around you to lighten the mood a little bit, okay? Because a lot of you Scorpios are living in a really like kind of, you're living here, a lot of you, in your own head, and having to deal with your own thoughts, and a lot of you don't like it at all. So you just wish you had that person to just cheer you up a bit, okay? Scorpio as well. This, for some of you as well, has to do with this person here. And what I'm seeing is anyone that is or was in a relationship, you've come so far, and it's not. So if you have left someone and you know it was over and done with, because I'm picking it up from this, it was over and done with. It wasn't what you really, really deserve. It was giving you what you wanted, okay? And that's not what we want, okay, for you. And you're more than that. You don't need immature people in your life who are going to, you know, give you the things that you think you want, when you really know there's more to life than certain things that made you happy, like more materialistic things. That whoever this person was, they basically what they were doing was they had their part making you happy, with giving you certain gifts and stuff like that, but in actual fact it wasn't really what your soul wanted, and you knew that, and you knew that's why you had to end it. But now, during this full moon, I feel like you're going to feel very emotional, and you're going to be wanting something or someone like that to kind of give you similar experiences, but without all of the, you know, playing the game. Okay? Right, so for Pisces, that energy was tough. There was a lot of messages there with that. Pisces, I feel like you guys are, it says be your true self, but I think without a doubt you are truly owning it right now. You are at the point where you're kind of already here. You're like, oh, finally I'm starting to be in my element here. I'm starting to really understand where it is that I need to be in the world, and where it is that I need to be aiming to go towards. And I feel like that has a lot to do with your spiritual path. You really, really know what it is that you have to do in order to make these things manifest. And I really feel like a lot of you are going to be planning for the 8th month. I'm not going to count, but whatever the 8th month is, it's September. So September is a kind of that time of, like, is that moving into autumn as well, weirdly enough, because we have this is autumn time. So around the autumn, I really feel like a lot of you will have something coming up, and it's probably to do with travel, and it's something that's really, really keeping your thoughts like in a positive place, and that's really, really good for you. But whatever you are going through right now, don't let it get you down, okay? And don't make any silly decisions. Silly decisions are not okay, okay? Pisces, I really feel like some of you are fantasizing in a good way, and then some of you are like using it as a way to kind of escape. And that's a lot of this, like protecting your own energy, but really not letting yourself enjoy certain, what is it I'm trying to say? Life, like being alive. Enjoying the little things. You're more, a lot of you are kind of just fantasizing about the future, which is good, but right now we have to make sure that we deal with all of these issues, okay? We have to deal with all of this before we can finally move on, okay? But yeah, Pisces, I have a strong feeling that a lot of you are doing a lot of work on yourself, which is really good. But I'm just giving that message for anyone that resonates with that. There's just a lot of you that are kind of not really dealing with whatever it is that needs to be dealt with, and you'll know whatever that is for you. But yes, that is all I have for you, water signs. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and click the notification bell, and I will see you all in the future. Goodbye.